Hey everybody, it's Mike Frieder here with On-Call Compliance Solutions, and I'm back with another compliance tip of the week. Today we're talking about DFARS, NIST SP 800-171, and CMMC Control IA.L2-3.5.8. Prohibit password reuse for a specified number of generations. Because using your password over and over again, well, that's pretty easy to guess. So hey, if you're a defense contractor who's feeling overwhelmed, tired, and alone, trying to understand all of this DFARS, NIST SP 800-171, and CMMC compliance stuff, I've got great news for you. You found your home here at On-Call Compliance Solutions, where we help you transform into your company's on-call compliance hero. Let's jump into it. So let's just use my old password again. Said no compliant company ever, right? No security guy, no IT guy. Nobody's really going to condone that kind of behavior. If your users are just cycling between spring 2023 exclamation point and fall 2023 exclamation point back and forth, guess what? Your security is stuck in a time loop and the auditor will notice. So CMMC Control IA.L2-3.5.8 is here to break that cycle. What the control actually says: CMMC Control IA.L2-3.5.8 prohibit password reuse for a specified number of generations. What is the translation? Well, you need to keep track of old passwords and make sure that when a user creates a new password, they can't just pick the last one they used or the one before that. Again, all that we are saying in this control is that we have to make it reasonably difficult for a brute force password tool to guess passwords, or that if your password is somehow sniffed or guessed, that once you change that password, you really are good. Not you're good until you make it that password again. Here are some assessment objectives. Let's tackle what the auditor might look for. Objective number 1, ensure reuse is blocked for a number of generations. Some technical implementation. On Windows domains, use group policy to set up things like enforce password history. And that's the big group policy you're looking for. 24 passwords remembered. And of course, in Azure Active Directory or Azure Government, enforce the password protection policies. Again, Entra ID, Intune policies, they all have this capability of enforcing password history. And it's critical for success here. Other platforms like Okta, JumpCloud, etc., same story. At the end of the day, it's turn on password history and make sure that there's some number of generations that you can't reuse the same password for. Now, how many generations? It doesn't really specifically say, but I will tell you the default on most Microsoft systems is 24. Pro tip, 24 is a solid standard, but pick a number that fits your risk profile. Some go with 12, some go with 36, and what we wouldn't do is just go with 0 or 1 or 2, or even 3 or 4 or 5. Again, this is easy stuff, you guys. It's just a matter of making sure users don't do the obvious thing users do. Now, documentation you'll need. Password policy that explicitly states how many generations are remembered, i.e. 24 passwords. Users cannot reuse previously used passwords, and screenshots of domain policy or cloud configuration showing that this password history setting is enabled. An internal security SOP or IT policy showing enforcement settings. Remember, it's not just good enough to have your system set up correctly. You've also got to have it documented, and documentation in such a way that it explains to whoever's following that documentation that this is the policy and that it shouldn't change in case the security guys, man, that's not necessary. No, it is. That's what the documentation is for, to show you how it should be done and show an auditor how it should be done. Here's a bonus. Include a reference in your system security plan. Auditors love seeing it in more than one place. So if you got a system security plan, you might as well specify it there too. Here's a real world story. We once worked with a company where everyone's new password was the same as their old password, and with a 1 added to it. Folks, your password policy isn't a game of incremental math. It's supposed to protect national defense information, not serve as your personal countdown. Now, what auditors are looking for? They are looking for that your policy says no reusing X number of previous passwords, that your system technically enforces it, not just we ask nicely, right? It shouldn't just be sort of like some kind of, what do they call that? Tribal knowledge? Yeah, it shouldn't. Your password policies should not be tribal knowledge. Screenshots or config settings that show it's enabled, and optionally user training materials reminding users of the policy. And I wouldn't really consider that optional. If you want a little extra protection, keep an export of your GPO or Azure settings handy in your audit prep folder. They will ask for it, and they may just ask to see it live anyway. So here's a final checklist for IA.L2-3.5.8. Password reuse is blocked for a set number of past generations. GPO or system setting enforcing it. Policy is documented. You can prove it with evidence, and users are made aware, i.e. they got trained on this policy. And hey, if you are banging your head against the wall trying to figure out how many iterations of NIST SP 800-171 controls you're going to have to go through, and here's a hint, it's a lot, I have good news for you. Because at On-Call, we take defense contractors just like you who've had this DFARS, NIST, CMMC, ITAR, and EAR, information security compliance stuff, dropped in their laps like a seagull on a sunny day. And we teach you how to level up and be a proper on-call compliance hero for your company, eliminating gaps, gray areas, and getting this solved, all while showing you how to leverage compliance as your secret weapon to land more defense work with higher profit margins. Yeah, baby. Now that's what becoming an on-call compliance hero can do for you. And if you're looking for more help getting compliant, our compliance experts are always on call for you. Visit cmmccompliancesecrets.com or check out the description below for links to get help right now. And if this video helped you, give it a big ol' like. It's really just actually a small click. It's not really that big. Or better yet, smash that subscribe button to keep these compliance tips rolling in. And of course, if you think you're ready for CMMC certification, hey, you know what? Hit us up and we can help you with your CMMC certifications as well, but only if we haven't helped you get compliant first. And hey, drop us a comment. Tell us what's the craziest password policy you've ever had to deal with. Until next time, my friends, stay safe and secure and stay off the auditor's naughty list and make sure those passwords are fresh. Thanks, everybody.